It's a problem that pretty much every creator, every innovator runs into. You've got this absolutely brilliant, game-changing idea. But how in the world do you get other people to see the value that you see? How do you make your vision their reality? I'm willing to bet you do. I mean, we all have something we're passionate about, right? Something you just know could make a real difference. And that's the real challenge, isn't it? Cutting through all the noise. Well, today we're going to break down exactly how one team pulled it off. We're going to use a real-world case study to unlock the secrets of really, truly influential communication. Okay, so our story kicks off with this group of super passionate entrepreneurs who had a vision. And they didn't just want to create another music festival. No, they wanted to build an entirely new kind of experience from the ground up. They gave it a name, Harmony Fusion. And that name kind of hints at their whole goal, right? To bring totally different worlds together in a way that's never been done before. So this was not just another festival lineup. They were dreaming up a fully immersive world, blending music genres you'd never think to put together, surrounding you with mind-blowing art, and using tech to make it all feel effortless. It was a huge, ambitious idea, and an idea that big needed a pitch to match. So the team had their brilliant idea, but they were staring down a massive hurdle. To make Harmony Fusion happen, they needed some serious funding. And they just knew that walking into a room of investors with a dry, standard presentation was not going to cut it. They had to go so far beyond a simple elevator pitch. I mean, it wasn't enough to just sum up their idea in 60 seconds. They had to make the investors feel the experience before a single ticket was ever sold. And they basically had two choices. They could go down the traditional road, the data-heavy, formal business plan that's all about the what, or they could take a risk. They could tell a story, a narrative that builds an emotional connection and, most importantly, explains the why behind it all. So what did they do? They chose the story. And this right here became the absolute core of their entire strategy. Instead of just laying out facts and figures, they decided to weave a narrative that would pull those investors right into the world of Harmony Fusion. The Harmony Fusion team literally built their entire pitch around these four pillars. They got personal, sharing stories about why music and art were so important to them. They built that emotional bridge around shared experiences. And they pitched their festival not as just a business, but as the answer, the resolution to a world of boring cookie-cutter events. Okay, so with their story ready to go, it was time for the moment of truth. And in that high-stakes presentation, they didn't just tell their story, they made the investors a part of it. This one line from the case study just says it all, doesn't it? They got it. To pitch a bold idea, you have to be bold in how you present it. They took some big, calculated risks. Now, just think about how powerful this is. Before they mentioned a single number or a projection, they made it personal. They connected everyone in that room through the shared universal power of music. And just like that, it wasn't a formal pitch anymore. It was a conversation. This is classic show, don't tell. They didn't just describe what it would feel like, they showed them. A video teaser let them just bypass the spreadsheets and beam the feeling, the energy, the vision of Harmony Fusion directly into their brains. Such a brilliant move. This made the whole abstract idea tangible. By bringing in actual physical props, they pulled their ideas right off the screen and into the real world, making the concept way more concrete and way more memorable. They didn't just bend the rules, they shattered the whole mold. By using humor and ditching that predictable A to B to C format, they created an experience. They weren't just presenting, they were performing, and it was absolutely unforgettable. So, after all that, after this bold, unconventional, story-driven performance, what happened? What was the actual result? Did it work? One. That's it. It took just one pitch. The investors were so completely captivated that they didn't just say yes to the funding, they wanted in. They actually asked to be involved in the planning. They were totally sold on the passion and the vision. And when you look at these traits of an effective communicator, you see exactly why it worked. The Harmony Fusion team, they embodied every single one of these. They had total clarity of vision, they used empathy to connect with the investor's own love for music. That icebreaker, that was active listening. And the whole pitch, a masterclass in adaptability. And this really brings us to the ultimate lesson here, the big takeaway. Sure, the data and the business plan were important, but they weren't the deciding factor. Logic makes people think, but it's emotion that makes people act. And the Harmony Fusion team made their investors feel excited, inspired, and connected. So that brings us right back to you and your great idea. It deserves to be heard. And the lesson from Harmony Fusion is crystal clear. Don't just present the facts, find the human story at the core of your vision, dare to be bold, and go tell it.